Jesus.
Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
Christian, Israel's bombed all the last churches in Gaza! Free Gaza from Hamas! Hamas is a terrorist organization!
I'm actually with Rabbi Shantab's.
Washington DC Polis Emniyet Müdürü'nden ve Washington DC Emniyet Belediye Başkanı'ndan.
Mr. Chairman, as you stand in the middle of the encampment, what's your reaction to this?
Well, certainly we've been watching it on TV, and we're very concerned for the safety of the students here. We support respect for free speech, but we don't support.
Obviously, there are people on the campus who have trespassed. According to the administration, the vast majority of the protesters aren't students, so they should be removed from campus. Simple. And that's not something to agitate. It's just what normal people do. You wouldn't allow somebody to stay in your house or stay in your dorm room. You would have them removed. And so the University Square belongs to the students.
We are supposed to be moving toward that. Can we, let's keep it moving this way. Let's move it that way. Let's go straight.
Bundan dolayı şu an ben müthiş bir kalabalık
Members of Congress here from the House Oversight Committee, following them as they get
öğrenciler de etrafında ama müthiş bir kongre koruması da geldi. Kongre korumaları onun hemen bir çember dışında gazeteciler bizim dışımızda da öğrenciler var. Hatta şöyle öğrencileri de ben göstereyim. Öğrenciler de böyle çevresinde toplandı. İlk başta bağırarak
All right, now I'm going to start moving.
Evet, korumalar.
No, I understand. I know you.
they showed up.
Let's go. Podium is back where we started. In terms of where she goes, the safety of Jewish students is said. They said they haven't felt safe here. What are your thoughts? You've heard some of this.
Concern. I mean, I can imagine not feeling safe. We've seen some of the very anti-Semitic and very concerning. And remember, this university is one of the largest Jewish student populations in America.
So are you considering, sir, meeting with some of the protesters here to talk to them about their concerns at all, or is that something that you're?
We just arrived, so we're here trying to talk to people.
جنة جنة جنة تسلم يا وطننا جنة جنة جنة تسلم يا وطننا يا ابو قلاب الطيب يا وطن يا حبيب يا ابو قلاب الطيب حتى نارك جنة حتى نارك جنة وجنة جنة جنة تسلم يا وطننا جنة جنة جنة تسلم يا وطننا يا وطن يا حبيب والله يا فلسطين زينة زينة زينة والله يا فلسطين بحر الأحمر قاعد هون والنكورة جميلة بحر الأحمر قاعد هون.
Y'all gotta look where you're going. You need to look where you're going. Watch out. Look where you're going. All right, we're walking this way.
I didn't touch you.
It was me pushing you out of the way so you didn't walk in.
Hold it.
I'm sorry.
Hold it.
Watch yourself.
Would you call this a peaceful protest or disruptive? I think there's a difference between private property and Beach Street over here. The anti-Semitic, anti-American terrorist ideologies that are being perpetrated at these camps all around America, and Mayor Bowser is allowing it to happen. It's truly
She is allowing it to happen, and she's preventing police from coming in here and doing anything to help you, and I'm so sorry for that.
Thank you.
Do you feel unsafe?
Yes, I feel unsafe when they're screaming Intifada, Intifada. It's thousands of Israelis.
Hey, watch out for her!
Thousands of Israelis.
Police violence on this campus.
I do apologize.
Yes.
We're going to answer questions.
You cannot block them. Well, not in law school faculty, not productive.
Not productive.
There are faculties out there right now.
And what actually told you about protesting in New York?
Oh, said just get your reaction.
Are you expecting to talk to more about the administration?
Folks, get in line, get in the line. Get in the line, please. Tartışmalı, çok sinirli olan.
Hands up DC! Hands up DC! Hands up DC! Hands up DC! Hands up DC! Hands up DC! Hands up DC! Hands up DC!
Arkada bu oranlar ellerinizi
Hands up DC! Hands up DC! Hands up DC! Hands up DC! Hands up DC! Hands up DC! Hands up DC! Hands up DC! Hands up DC!
Can everybody hear me okay?
Hands up
We'll be very brief.
Hands up
The Oversight Committee is here today because, as you saw yesterday from Mike Johnson's press conference, this is a priority for the majority of the U.S. House of Representatives. We're seeing these protests spring up all across the United States. We're hearing from Jewish students that they don't feel safe. We're hearing from university administrators that they don't feel like they are equipped to handle these types of protests, and there's obviously a concern that any type of protest of this size and nature could get out of hand. We have two roles on the Oversight Committee in these campus protests. First of all, we have legislative jurisdiction over the city of Washington, D.C. We've already passed legislation this year that passed the House, passed the Senate, and was signed into law by the President that rescinded Washington, D.C.'s soft on crime policies. So we're going to have an emergency hearing Wednesday with the mayor and police chief of Washington, D.C.
Hands up, DC! Hands up, DC! Hands up, DC! Hands up, DC! Hands up, DC! Hands up, DC! Hands up, DC! Hands up, DC!
And lastly, the last thing that we have jurisdiction over is, in our role in these investigations that the House announced yesterday, we want to follow the money trail to see if there are outside groups that are paying for these types of activities, the TED, things like that. So we're all going to say a few words, and we'll be happy to answer a few questions. I'll now yield. This was led by Lauren Boebert and Anna Paulina Luna, and I'll yield to Representative Boebert.
This is what the students here at GW University are facing each and every day. Their learning activities are being disrupted. Their finals are being disrupted. They have quiet learning times. Even at the facility, the law school students are the only ones permitted on campus during finals, and their learning, their study time has been really disrupted by this 2024 Summer of Love. And it's very disrespectful. We have Jewish students, many who have approached me today, who fear for the safety of their lives by the comments that are being made. There are 7 students that have been suspended for trespassing, and it's time that Mayor Bowser gets aggressive in keeping safety here on this campus and the surrounding perimeter. This is something that must be addressed, and at this time, there has been Palestine! Free Palestine! We bless Israel! Free Palestine! We bless Israel! Those who bless Israel shall be blessed! We stand with Israel, our greatest ally, with the peace. That is who we stand for, and who is defeating Palestine. And these folks who are shouting, Free Palestine, well, let's see. I've seen signs here today. If you want to hear, I have seen signs here today saying queer and trans folks for liberated Palestine, gays for Gaza, from the river to sea, Palestine will be free, lesbians for Palestine, Chinese for Palestine, followed by all cops are bastards. This is not only disgusting. Not only is this disgusting, but let me be clear. Not only is this disgusting, but let me be very clear. Almost every single person in this so-called liberated zone would be eviscerated by the very terrorists you are and chaoses in our cities anymore. And if the faculty here, who many are involved in this right now, I had people proudly saying that they are faculty and not wanting to remove a Palestinian sign from the George Washington statue. If they don't want to do something to address this, well then kiss your federal funding goodbye.
All right, guys, there's a really big difference between Palestine and what you guys are seeing behind us. We know for a fact that there are professional organized protesters that are not students who are currently inciting what you're seeing happening at this community right now. There's also a big difference between the First Amendment and peaceful protest and intentionally preventing people from being able to get an education, intentionally trespassing on property, going around with signs of which we've seen that say final solution, of which you all know is racism. It's not okay and it should never be tolerated. And I think everyone behind me should agree with that. Should you not?
Why should
the fact is that here in the United States of America, everyone has the right, to ensure that their constitutional freedoms are protected. I will finalize by saying this. What you are seeing happening in this country is showing more division, and there's people behind it that don't want us to unify as a country. All of these people behind us right now, they're not actually helping Palestinians. If they were, they'd be condemning Hamas, which has been responsible for civilians being killed because they prevented them from fleeing what was happening in Israel. So remember that. Right now we currently encourage the university and the faculty to ensure that these students are able to take their finals. And with that, if you are a parent and have a student at this university, I encourage you to contact the faculty and say thank you, because they're doing everything that they can to ensure that everyone receives right to education.
Why should the United States support Jewish supremacist country? Is the Congress now in the business of shielding criminals?
Dude, are you going to talk or am I going to talk? Calm down, bro. Let me talk to the people real quick. Listen, what is happening here is wrong. Mayor Bowser has let down the students of George Washington. She has let down the city of Washington, D.C. Everybody believes in peaceful protests, but this is trespassing now. GW has asked for help to have the encampment removed because this is private property, and the mayor is weak in the face of foolishness, and she will not do her job of enforcing the law in Washington, D.C. So we're calling on the mayor to step up and support the president and the administration at George Washington. All students deserve to be protected. They deserve to have their voices heard, but you cannot take over a university campus for your own end. None of you would let it happen to your own house. You wouldn't let your house be overtaken by a group of people. You would call the police, and you would expect the police. Sir, I'll let you talk before. Calm down and talk. And you would not allow that. You would call the police to come in and get people out of your home. It is no different on private property. So Mayor Bowser needs to step up and actually lead for once in Washington, D.C. and support all the people of Washington, D.C. and all the students here at George W.
Are you satisfied with GW?
Answer the question. Why supremacist country has to be supported by the United States?
I graduated from George Washington in 2006. I went to law school here in 2010. This is sickening to see thousands of Jewish students made to feel uncomfortable, made to feel this is not what George Washington's about. This is because the mayor is you see in New York, a strong mayor taking back here in D.C. The mayor has chosen to not push the law. The president George Washington MPD's assistants these trespassers and they refuse to. This has gone on for a week. It must be stopped. We have a hearing next week. I can assure you after that it will be stopped. Trespassing is not allowed. The rule of law must be enforced. It's so sad that Jewish friends of George Washington reinstatement. Past time.
Is the Congress now in the business of shielding criminals from
What is your favorite color of Skittles? If you say, well, we are enjoying this beautiful weather. People that are being held 2 days. People dying in Gaza. Hamas. They are people that are women that
That's a lie. That's a lie.
because they've been raped by Palestinians. And so,
Speak with sources. Speak with sources.
everybody, if you look into the Alex, you know that
Facts are against you.
waves. There were 3 waves. There was the elite guard,
The outside agitators,
and
you're in the outside
citizens of Palestine. They came
Christians are celebrating Palm Sunday and Easter under bomb.
Basically, did most of the barbaric activities in that area. So at the end of the day, this protest should be against what Hamas has done, and we should be asking for the release of the prisoners in Gaza.
Chairman, can you can you address the mayor? Talk to the mayor. She hasn't done anything out here. What are the steps that Russian leaders can take to remove these students from Canada? What would you say you want?
Well, our message here today, number one, is help is on the way for George Washington University. We've already, as I said earlier, rescinded Washington, D.C. soft on crime policy. We expect the rule of law to be upheld, and the Washington Police Department is the body that upholds the law. As Representative Donald said, we have trespassing here. The university president explicitly told us in a briefing they do not want these encampments on their campus. So we expect these encampments to be cleared out. Now we've got a committee hearing Wednesday, and I would strongly encourage the mayor to have the police do their job and ensure that there's at the very least no trespassing. We're fine with protests. Peaceful protests are fine, but trespassing is against the law.
So if the mayor doesn't act by next Wednesday, what are the actions that the students can take?
We're going to do everything. As I said, we've already became law, signed into law.
Is the Congress now in the business of shielding criminals from the International Court of Justice?
Can you clarify the jurisdiction of the committee? Like what
Jurisdiction of the committee.
The jurisdiction of the House Oversight Committee, we have legislative jurisdiction over Washington, D.C. And that's why we do a lot of legislation. We have the mayor regularly coming in. We just passed a bill a few weeks ago to work out a lease agreement for the RFK Stadium for the city of Washington, D.C. so the Washington Commanders can come back to Washington, D.C. We've rescinded their software.
Chairman, have you spoken to the mayor at all about
We have reached out to the mayor to schedule this committee hearing. The mayor knows our position. We expect the law to be upheld, and right now we have people breaking the law, and a lot of them don't look like Stephen.
I'll call for the arrest of anybody breaking the law. The people here breaking the law. Yes, we call for the arrest of anyone breaking the law.
So if the mayor doesn't testify, will you call for the arrest?
The mayor will testify.
Absolutely.
The mayor will
I'm calling for the arrest of anybody that's violating the law.
Chairman, who will make the arrests? Are we talking? What entity will come in and make the arrest?
Well, it should be the Metro Police Department.
But if it's not,
MPD will do their job, or they will.
If it is Congress, what happens?
George Washington Police Department has the authority to make arrests as well, and then they hand them over to the Metropolitan.
Okay, thank you all.
Is the Congress now in the business of shielding criminals from the International Court of Justice?
Trespassing on Palestinian land. Get out of Palestinian land. Terrorists in suits.
Just get with this. I'll talk about it.
Court of Justice.
These students have a right to protest here today.
Why you are shielding criminals from the International Court of Justice?
This way.
Why you are shielding criminals? Are you criminals?
Back up. Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
you're right. But when he's moving, you have to be out the way.
يا ابو قلاب الطيب يا وطن يا حبيب يا ابو قلاب الطيب حتى نارك جنة حتى نارك جنة جنة جنة جنة
تسلم يا وطنا جنة جنة جنة تسلم يا وطنا يا وطن يا حبيب يا ابو قلاب الطيب يا وطن يا حبيب يا وطن يا حبيب يا ابو قلاب الطيب.
I want to say thank you guys for keeping up the energy in a moment like that. Again, it speaks to the principled determination we have for the cause, so give yourself a round of applause. Take care of the space, keep the space clean. These are, again, very important because we want to keep sustaining the movement that we're in. Again, thank you all, and please stay safe.